All right, then tell me, have you ever stared at your laptop at 10 or 11 at night, feeling like you can't log off just yet because there are so many more things to check off on your to-do list? You're still answering emails late into the night, you're making tweaks to your upcoming launch emails, you're trying to get the creative juices flowing to write some marketing content or thinking about how you want that content to look. Now, because this podcast is for women business owners, I think that I can speak on behalf of all of us and say, yep, I've been there. This seems to be a point we get to, right? The late nights, the early mornings, working on a business that you truly love, but the hours you're spending just eat up your day. We all know what this leads to. Say it with me. Burnout. Even though this grind mindset is so common and apparently normal in business, it's just not sustainable. And keeping up with the grind is not the answer to making your business thrive. The real growth in your business, the kind that gives you freedom, gives you joy, gives you more impact on the people you want to help, it starts when you step back and you look at the big picture. Today we're talking about how to stop spinning your wheels, how to focus on what really matters, and how to grow a business that doesn't depend on you doing it all. One that gives you back your time. Hey there, welcome to another episode of the HerBusiness Podcast. I'm Susie, and if you've ever felt like you're working harder than ever, but still not seeing the growth you want in your business, know that you're not alone. The business or entrepreneur's grind mindset can be all-consuming. So today we're going to talk about how to let go of the grind and focus on the big picture, growing a sustainable, stable business that lasts. Because as business owners, we are not here to be busy. We are here to create impact, to build sustainable, profitable businesses, and to grow both ourselves and our businesses. We're here to create the lives that we want through our work. So I'll be sharing 5 strategies that will help you step out of the weeds, reclaim your time, and focus on the work that really matters to actually moving your business forward. So go ahead and grab a notebook or something to jot notes down on, and let's dive in. Now, this episode is part of a short series we're doing right now on planning. This time of year, we go deep on planning inside the HerBusiness community and really help our members get a big head start on their annual plans. So from guides to worksheets and planning days and facilitated sessions to actually work on their plans, our members are being armed with what they need to get ahead of their competition next year by getting ahead of the year with a solid 12-month business plan. And so I wanted to share some of the things we are teaching there with you here. So let's start with the first strategy, which is building your foundation, and that is your vision. So this is the North Star for your business, the thing that keeps you focused when distractions pop up or when that grind mindset starts to take over. One of my favorite quotes is from Apple co-founder Steve Jobs. He says, when you're working on something truly interesting, you don't have to be pushed. The vision pulls you. That is what we're aiming for, a vision that's so clear and so inspiring that it drives you forward even on those tough days. But here's where a lot of business owners get stuck. They either don't have a clear vision or their vision is just too small. They're focused on the next email, the next sale, the next client. And while all those things matter, they won't pull you forward in a meaningful way. So I want you to ask yourself, where do I want my business to be 12 months from now? And picture it vividly. What does your day look like? Who's on your team? What are you working on? This is what we call inside of HerBusiness your big kahuna goal. It's the big audacious goal that excites you and gives your team direction over the next 12 months. I describe the big kahuna as the thing that if it was realized would revolutionize your business. Now, you may not have heard the term big kahuna. That's because I made it up. It's one of our HerBusiness pieces of language. But you get the idea. It's the big audacious goal that excites you and is the light ahead for the year. Something that if you achieved it would really revolutionize your business. Now, here's the key. Once you have that 12-month vision, the key is to break it down into manageable projects and then into smaller and more detailed tasks. This is where the magic happens because this process turns something overwhelming into something actionable and achievable. So it's no longer double my revenue. That goal gets broken down into hire a new team member, launch a referral program, deliver a new offer. And then we go into the details of what do each of those projects mean. And here I want to note that it is essential to get out of the role of being an expert at all the things in your business. And right now you might be wearing all the hats: bookkeeper, marketer, admin person, salesperson, event coordinator, social media manager, all the roles. Now I know it can be really tough to extract yourself from doing all these things, especially when you're good at them. But as leaders, we need to keep stepping into our zone of genius, not just the things that we're good at, excellent at, or competent at. Now, this idea of the zone of genius comes from the book The Big Leap by Gay Hendricks, which I highly recommend you check out. It's a really great one for getting yourself in the right mindset to grow your business. Now, when we step out of the grind of doing all the tasks that take up your whole day, we finally leave time to be able to have those big ideas, to get into that genius zone for our businesses. Which means if you have a team, you want to be thinking about delegating more tasks. If you've been meaning to hire someone, do it. Hire that person so that you can take that time-sucking task or list of tasks off your plate. And if you're not in the spot right now where you can hire someone, you can still make time for that genius thinking. Put that time in your schedule. This is time where you can't open up your emails, write new content, organize things, look at your books. This is time for you to wear the CEO hat and take off all the others. So no matter where you are in your business or how large or small your team is, you can do this. The goal must be to leverage your time and your effort, to have that essential time to think and to create. And P.S., even if you schedule in a few hours a week to do this, I can guarantee you will see those feelings starting to fade, those feelings of burnout, those feelings of I'm working so hard in my business, I'm never working on my business. Because it's that energy, when you get into that genius work, that time to think and create, that makes us as leaders and business owners who we are. It brings us back to loving why we're doing what we're doing in the first place. And when we do this, it can even make the smaller tasks that you just have to do that more fulfilling and rewarding. Okay, let's get into strategy number 2. Redefining what productivity really means to you. So let's talk a little more about this business grind idea. Now, you know what I mean. It's the endless list of tasks, the late nights, the nagging feeling that if you work just a little bit harder or a bit longer, you'll be where you want to be. And the feeling of actually possibly even being just a little bit proud that you're overworking yourself. You're always so busy. That is the business grind. And I think it's one of the most unhealthy concepts that business and entrepreneur culture can push to us. Now, I don't mean that we shouldn't work hard. I work hard. I don't mean we shouldn't have the drive and grit to get what we want. I don't mean we shouldn't be motivated to grow and push ourselves. I'm talking about the connection between your worth as a business owner and how much you can physically get done in a day, a week, a month. Does that sound familiar? It happens to business owners all the time. And I think it's because we care so much and we yearn so much for the success that we imagine. We want our businesses to thrive. We want to help more people. We want to build something that we are truly proud of. But it can get to an unhealthy point if our self-worth is attached to how long our to-do list is. I've been there. I used to wear busyness as a badge of honor. The feeling that I was better if I was the first one in, the last one out, that I must be doing something right if I was working myself to the bone, that somehow that made me worthy of success. But in reality, I wasn't actually making the progress I wanted. I was working my behind off, but I wasn't always growing, and neither was my business. So if you've been in that place, or if you're in that place right now, and I know I sometimes fall back into it too, here's what I want you to do. I want you to redefine productivity. So instead of asking, what did I check off my to-do list today? Ask yourself, what progress did I make on the things that matter most? Because they're two very different questions. Productivity is not about being busy. It's about making impact and being intentional with what you're working on. You could get through 100 tasks in one day, and they could all turn out to be useless as far as moving you towards your goals. And your self-worth can suffer when you define it by how much you get done. Instead, we need to think about how we are working towards our overall big goals and what really matters to get us there. So let me just say, this mindset shift is not easy. And for many of us, the grind is so familiar, so habitual, maybe even a comfortable place to be. And like I said, I often find myself needing to remind myself to get out of the busy work, look up from the laptop, and think about whether I'm actually making progress in the direction I really want to go. So here are 2 ways that I encourage you to start making your way into shifting away from the hustle and grind mindset and behavior in your business. The first is to take intentional breaks. Now, when I'm in my office, I can be behind my screen for 3 to 4 hours without even noticing that I haven't stood up. Not only is that bad for my posture, but it's bad for my brain. Now, science actually shows that taking regular intentional breaks where you're not just thinking about your work, it actually makes you more productive and more creative. So maybe it's taking a walk around the block. Maybe it's popping out for a coffee on your own or with a mentor or a friend. Maybe it's just taking 5 minutes to cuddle your dog. I do that one. Those pauses really help you to recharge and reset with your bigger picture. And the second thing is try to challenge the hustle culture mindset when you fall into it. Just catch yourself and remember that busy does not equal successful. Real success is about creating impact, joy, progress for you as much as it is for your clients. So try to put this second strategy into practice. So go look at your planner or your schedule right now. You can pause this and do it right now and schedule a break. Yeah, actually put it in your calendar. Block in an hour, a day, a weekend when you are going to make time to think about your vision and your priorities. All right, let's get into the third strategy for growing. And this is about growing your business while getting out of the grind and giving you your time back. Now, this third strategy is a big business secret that I believe all women business owners need to start implementing. I call it the 90-day cycle secret. And it's what's going to keep you fully aligned with your vision. And here's how it works. Now, we know that big goals can be overwhelming. If you've ever set a goal like triple my revenue this year or launch a new product line, you likely have first-hand experience of, one, being really excited. You envision what it's going to look like, you're imagining the success it could bring, the changes that it would bring, and then right after the excitement, you get a wave of doubt and overwhelm, realizing, gosh, where do I even start? And then what happens? Often those big plans, they end up being on a calendar and a wish list, but they don't actually materialize. It's one of the flaws of planning. You can spend a lot of time creating an amazing plan, get very excited about it, then put it in a drawer or pin it to a wall where it stays. A plan that's a really nice idea. And another year goes by and things haven't changed. You're no further in front. And all the potential is still trapped inside your business. You may still be struggling with cash flow. You may still feel like you're barely holding onto your business as it grows rapidly and becomes unmanageable, unpredictable. Perhaps marketing and creating a flow of regular sales is still a big crunch for you with some really good months and some really bad ones. Maybe you're still not working with the quality of clients you want to work with and you're frustrated dealing with people who don't value what you do, who can't really afford your services or who don't really give you joy when you work with them. Maybe you're still unsure where all your money is going and you're flying blind, working hard each month, just hoping that you finish in front. So how can you change that story? How can you be the type of business owner who has a goal, a vision, and then actually makes it happen? This is where the 90-day cycle secret comes in. So what actually is this strategy? I love this strategy. And successful people plan their lives 90 days at a time. And successful business owners also plan their businesses 90 days at a time. Now, you might think this is something only big businesses do because you might see companies listed on the stock exchange talk about their quarterly returns, or you hear about a strategic plan for this quarter from a big telecommunications business or a government department. But small businesses also thrive when they start using the 90-day cycle secret. Now, New York Times bestselling author Michael Hyatt says in his book that 90 days is the ideal achievement cycle. Now, this 90-day cycle secret is something I've done in my business for decades. And because I believe in it so much and have seen the results in my own life and business, it's also something that we've taught thousands of small business owners to do through all our HerBusiness programs. And women tell us this has made a huge difference to their clarity, their focus, and their results. Even women who aren't traditionally planners tell us this is now a must-have part of their process, like one of our HerBusiness Network members, Louise Davis, who provides consulting, training and coaching that helps frontline managers become leaders in large corporations. And she said to me in the past she'd rather have a root canal than do this type of planning. She thinks about it differently now, and maybe you can relate, because planning can be boring and it can be ineffective. But when you know this process of taking your big goals and breaking them into 90-day cycles, it can also be exciting and gratifying because you're getting your goals sooner. So that is where quarterly planning really shines. It takes that big, audacious vision and breaks it into bite-sized, actionable pieces. So how do you start? So I invite you to identify 1 or 2 priorities for the next 90 days, just 1, maybe 2, and break them into clear projects. For example, if your 90-day goal is to increase your revenue by a certain amount of dollars, then your projects might include running a referral campaign or creating a new service offer. And then what you do in the 90 days is you focus on those projects. It's not about multitasking. It's about making real progress on the things that you're going to do in the next 90 days that are going to move you towards your bigger goals. So here's a challenge to you. Could you take 30 minutes today and plan your next 90 days? What are the 1 or 2 priorities that are going to make the biggest impact on your business and get you closer to your annual goal, your big kahuna goal? This relates to the 4th strategy, which is adopting a do less and obsess mindset. Now, do less and obsess is one of our mantras inside of HerBusiness. And this one might seem counterintuitive, but it really helps with focusing your goals rather than getting caught up in busy work. We've been conditioned to believe that success means saying yes to opportunities all the time. More clients, more products, more platforms. But here's what I've learned. The businesses that thrive aren't doing the most. They're doing a few things the best. Now, this concept of do less and obsess is derived from an idea in a book by Dr. Morten Hansen. Now, he researched high performance in all fields and industries, sciences, arts, business, health, and he found that people who really excel do fewer things and they obsess over doing them well. So they don't go broad, they go deep into a few things. And too often, we're darting here and there, and we just don't need to do that to be successful in business. We just need to do a few things really well. Just a few types of ideal clients, a few really stellar offers that our ideal clients really love. You get the idea? So in your business, this might mean narrowing your focus. Maybe it's working with fewer clients but funneling them towards your higher priced offers. Maybe that's what's going to get you results. Or maybe it's streamlining your products and offers to just 1 or 2 signature services where you have enough energy and enough time to do them really well. So the key is to ask, what are the few things that truly contribute to my overall goals? What can I let go of to make space for those priorities? Now, don't get me wrong. I love trying new things. I'm a big believer that we should always be open to learning, and experimenting is always great. But before you chase the next shiny object, just pause and ask yourself if that thing really aligns with your vision and will it move you forward. If the answer is no, then give yourself permission to say, just not right now. Right? It's not a no forever. So when you focus on those projects that do matter, you create excellence. You get into that genius creative state. Now, I promised you 5 strategies, and so I want to give you the 5th one. And it's really important to incorporate into all of this. In fact, I think it's the most essential piece to stop grinding your days away and find real growth in your business and get back your time. And that is to prioritize your self-care in order to sustain your growth. And I've seen examples time and time again from women who've shone really bright, doing it all, only to burn out super fast. And when they're burnt out, their businesses crumble. Because going fast and overworking yourself is not sustainable. I say this a lot. You are the most important asset to your business. Not that campaign that you're slaving away at, not pushing yourself to show up on social media everywhere, every day, not the new product or service you've been working really hard to launch. You are the most important. And if you're not taking care of that asset, the other bits and pieces of your business, they will not survive. You will lose your love for what you do. You may even make yourself unwell. So I'm talking about bigger picture self-care than just taking a walk or taking 5 minutes away from your screen. I think as business owners, we need to block out dedicated time to reflect, to rejuvenate, to refresh. Maybe that's actually taking the weekend off. Maybe it's attending a retreat and getting away from your business, or attending a mastermind, or just giving yourself a well-deserved vacation. Pop that on the calendar for the next 12 months. Now, these breaks act as opportunities to reflect, to reset, to reconnect with the vision that you have for your business. And I'll be the first to tell you some of my best ideas have come during those moments of pause and rest, not in the times when I was running a mile a minute. So be intentional about making that time for you, for taking care of that most important asset. I want you to think over the next quarter. Do you have intentional time set aside for you? It doesn't have to look like going to a spa. It could just be time out to just think, to work on the business. If you don't already have time set aside, I really encourage you to add that into your 2025 schedule, because taking care of yourself means you're sustaining your energy and setting yourself up to show up as the best version of yourself for your business and your clients and your team. So I want to recap the 5 ways to continue to grow your business. These are CEO secrets, I've called them, and you are the CEO of your business, and you are the person that needs to kind of take the reins in the business to grow it, but you also want to do it in a way that's sustainable. And so the 5 things I shared today, 1 is build a vision that pulls you forward, redefine what productivity actually means to you, and disassociate your value with how busy you are. Start implementing the 90-day cycle secret. I'm so excited to hear how you go with that. And like I said, we do this inside of Her Business all the time, and I'll tell you how we can support you to do that in your business as well a little later. Do less and obsess about what matters most, and take care of you, the most important asset. And as we get close to closing out this episode, I want to challenge you to take 1 step forward, letting go of grind and focusing on long-term sustainable growth. So what is a step that you can take today to start letting go of the grind? Maybe it's scheduling a break or narrowing your focus or planning your next 90 days. Whatever it is, commit to it. And I promise it will transform your energy and your business. And if you want to be supported as you head into the new year, then join us inside the Her Business Network. Not only do we work with our members on their annual plans, but every quarter we put the 90-day secret to work with our quarterly half-day strategy meetings, where we set out our plans for our marketing, our money, our mindset, our growth for the following 90 days. And the thing about 90 days is it's long enough to get some really amazing things done, but it's not so long that you lose interest. That's why we use this cadence inside of our programs, inside of Her Business. So if you're interested in doing that, all you need to do is head over to herbusinessnetwork.com to learn more. Now, I've mentioned a number of things in this episode, and I've put those along with a summary of the points we covered here today over on our show notes page, which you'll find at herbusiness.com/284. That's herbusiness.com/284. Now, speaking of the fabulous Her Business Network, I recently interviewed one of our members, Jane Day of Webinars, about creating a system for winning Facebook and Instagram ads. So Jane is a marketing strategist. She specializes in working with coaches and course creators, in creating funnels and running ads. And so we had a chat on a recent episode. It was episode 279. And the episode is called Don't Blame It on the Algorithm, Create Systems for Winning Ads with Jane Day. So we had a great chat. It's been a really popular episode. And she jumped on Instagram and tagged us and said, I had so much fun talking to Susie about Facebook ads and automation. And I'm going to encourage you to take a listen to this episode. I'm going to put a link to it in our show notes, which I'll say again, where you find those is at herbusiness.com/284. Or if you are looking whatever you're listening on, whatever app, then if you just go back a few episodes, it was episode 279. But I've also got some video snippets from that interview on our Instagram account. So if you don't follow us, check out Her Business on Instagram. If you enjoyed this episode, I would love it if you would leave me a rating or review. You can email me at podcast@herbusiness.com or go across to Apple Podcasts and leave a rating or review there. You'll also find us on Instagram at HerBusiness. Now, I invite you to join me next time for more inspiring stories and lessons from successful female entrepreneurs. I love doing this show for you. I appreciate you listening, and do share the show with a friend if you found it valuable. And if you're new to the show, you don't already subscribe, be sure to hit follow or subscribe wherever you're listening. And I'll see you next time right here on the Her Business Podcast. Bye for now.